Hey guys, this is James for InBetweenIsode number 6. And so today we have another special attire. We have the Old Dirty Bastard album right here. Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version. Seemingly every single Pu'erh blogger listens to only one rap group, that being the Wu-Tang Clan, and myself being no exception. So here we are with ODB, special guest for InBetweenIsode number 6. And so today we are looking at some loose pu'erh supposedly from the 1980s from the Yiwu region. And so this was sent to us kindly by Neil of Tea Classico. And I'm going to show you guys real quick that we've been doing, I've been tasting through a lot of mature pu'erh, which is why the last couple InBetweenIsodes have been on mature pu'erh, just for the tea of the month. So we have a lot of different teas going on right now. We have, this is the Mengku YYX, a famous one, 80s Yinming Hell, also from Neil, and we have some older 90s 8582 right here as well. Just want to give a quick shout out to the Tea of the Month stuff. If you are interested in aged pu'erh and that kind of thing, please check out that report, which will be coming out in a week or two. Cool. So we are going to get brewing. So these leaves, and we will show you the dry and wet leaf at the end, are nice, long, and wiry. And so the Yiwu region in particular will have kind of longer, more wiry leaves, longer leaves or bigger leaves than the Menghai region or the western Xishuangbanna regions typically. Alright, and we're going to show you guys the liqueur. So this, as in the previous couple episodes, is the third steeping. And I'm going to pour that into my cup and then pour out a fourth one. So it's a nice, deep, dark red. And as I've stated in a couple past InBetweenIsodes, these older raw pu'erhs and even the ripe pu'erhs really start to hit their mark right around this point. It takes them a little bit to get going. And even then, it's like, especially for some of the older ones, to get past the storage, it's often the fourth or the fifth steep. All right. So actually, the third infusion may have been a little bit darker. So I will show you guys this. Cool. And so one of the interesting things, or one of the important things to note about loose leaf pu'erh is it's a little bit different than raw pu'erh, and you can often get it for cheaper prices. In fact, loose leaf raw pu'erh with a bit of age is something that I recommend most people check out that are just getting started, so they can get used to the more fermented taste. Some people refer to it as browner taste. And that's just because it's cheaper, so you don't have to go out of your way to buy a much more expensive tea. People will often say that loose leaf raw pu'erh doesn't have the same upside as caked raw pu'erh. It can't get quite as good, and I'm not entirely sure if that's because the base material just tends to be worse for the base materials that they put into loose leaf pu'erh, or if it's because something about the loose leaf pu'erh fundamentally changes the aging process. So usually the loose leaf raw pu'erhs will age a little bit faster than their caked or bricked or tooled cousins. And so, and so this tea, I believe it was stored in Hong Kong to start off with, where it had a pretty accelerated aging process. Since then, it's been supposedly stored in sealed conditions in Taiwan, which would slow down the aging and prevent it from perhaps getting a bit weaker with age. Anyways, we are going to drink. So this is, I think this is a pretty nice example of of an aged raw pu'erh. It has a very nice fermented taste. I don't find the wetness of it to be really off-putting at all. Even in the first couple steeps, there's a little bit of that kind of like what my girlfriend describes as vegetable-iness to it. And I think in these steeps, more sweetness, more natural sweetness is coming out. There's still a little bit of that vegetable-iness and that storage taste that you can taste, but for me personally, I don't find it particularly off-putting in this tea at all. We will go on to steep number 4. So this steep is even nicer in my opinion. It's a little bit lighter on the body front than this, but there's a little bit more going on, a little bit more tea taste happening, and that's kind of to be expected just because, I don't know, you're steeping through a lot of those early storage, especially the older the tea gets, the more storage you're going to have to steep through. I'm going to just quickly, I'm not going to drink this infusion, but we'll quickly take a look at what a 5th infusion might look like. So one of the big advantages of a tetsubin, I've had a lot of comments on the tetsubin, is that it keeps the water hot for quite some time. So that's definitely something, one of the big advantages of it, as opposed to like a glass kettle, for instance. Alright, so a little bit longer steep time, and I will move this down to show you guys what it looks like. So I think for me personally, stuff like this 80s Yiwu make really, really nice daily drinkers, especially as we're getting into kind of these more seasonally colder months, especially for us in the Western Hemisphere that don't live in Florida or California or somewhere where they get lots of sunlight. Alright, so I'm going to pull a couple of these leaves out just so you can see. So there are some stems in here, but for the most part the leaves are real vertically long. Ooh, it is hot. There's probably a better way to do this. There we go. So I'm going to move this down here. Just can have a look. So you guys can see the dry leaf and the wet leaf. So, for me, these teas are very pleasant to drink, and I think that just about it concludes InBetweenIsode number 6. So please let us know feedback. If you guys are getting bored of raw pu'erhs, please speak up. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know about the camera work. As you can see, we've been experimenting with some stuff just to get you guys nice, cleaner shots of the leaf and the liqueur. And thank you guys for watching, and comment below. Cheers.